Have you ever wondered how secure your online communications are? In the age of digital connectivity, we are constantly sharing information across the internet, from personal conversations to financial transactions. But how often do we stop to consider the safety of these exchanges? The truth is, the world of online communication is riddled with vulnerabilities that can be exploited by cyber threats, jeopardizing our privacy and security. These threats can infiltrate our daily digital activities, sometimes without us even realizing. From identity theft to data breaches, the consequences can be severe. And it's not just large corporations that are at risk. Anyone with an internet connection can become a target. One such cyber threat that often goes unnoticed is the man-in-the-middle attack. Now, imagine you're sending a letter to a friend and someone intercepts it, reads it, and then delivers it to your friend without you knowing. That's essentially what a man-in-the-middle attack is in the digital world. Let's break it down. In the realm of cybersecurity, a man-in-the-middle or MITM attack is a form of eavesdropping. Here, an attacker secretly relays and potentially alters the communication between two parties who believe they are directly communicating with each other. The attacker is the man in the middle, hence the name. It's like being on a phone call, thinking you're talking directly to your friend, but in reality, every word you say is being heard and possibly manipulated by a third party. The same goes for your friend's responses. This third party essentially inserts themselves into your conversation, acting as an invisible, silent participant. In the digital world, this can happen in numerous ways. Perhaps the most common method is when an attacker manages to position themselves on the same network as their victims. This could be, say, a public Wi-Fi network where they can intercept data being sent and received. The intercepted information can be anything from login credentials, credit card numbers, to personal messages. Basically, anything you wouldn't want a stranger to get their hands on. And the most terrifying part? The attacker can alter the communication, injecting misleading or harmful data into the conversation. Understanding this concept is crucial because it's a common and effective way for cybercriminals to steal information, spread malware, or even sabotage communications. The digital world is full of such threats, and a man-in-the-middle attack is one of the most insidious. The scariest part is, the two parties may never realize that there was an intruder in their conversation. Man-in-the-middle attacks are not just theoretical. They have occurred in real life, causing significant damage. Let's delve into some notorious instances of man-in-the-middle, or MITM, attacks. These examples will underscore the serious repercussions these cyber threats can have. In the year 2011, a Dutch company known as DigiNota fell victim to a MITM attack. This company was a certificate authority responsible for verifying websites' identities and encrypting communications between users and the sites. In a shocking breach of security, an attacker infiltrated their systems and issued fraudulent certificates. This allowed them to intercept and decrypt sensitive data being transmitted between users and supposedly secure websites. A classic example of a MITM attack. Fast forward to 2013, Nokia's Express browser was found to be decrypting HTTPS traffic. HTTPS, or Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure, is supposed to provide a secure communication channel, protecting data from being intercepted. However, Nokia's browser was decrypting this data for compression before re-encrypting it and sending it on to users. This meant all data passing through the browser was vulnerable to interception, a significant security flaw akin to a MITM attack. Then, in 2017, the credit reporting company Equifax had to withdraw its mobile apps due to MITM vulnerabilities. The apps had insecure direct object references, which could have allowed attackers to impersonate legitimate users and gain unauthorized access to sensitive data. We can see how, once again, the potential for a MITM attack led to serious consequences. These incidents show the potential harm and the reality of MITM attacks. So, how can we detect and prevent these stealthy intruders from intercepting our online communications? The first line of defense against MITM attacks is to ensure secure communications. This can be achieved by using HTTPS, a secure version of HTTP. HTTPS uses public-private key exchange to encrypt data, making it unreadable to anyone who might intercept it. So, even if an attacker does manage to get their hands on the data, they won't be able to make sense of it. Another method to prevent MITM attacks is the use of public key infrastructures. These infrastructures involve the use of certificates issued by trusted third parties, known as certificate authorities. These certificates authenticate the identities of the parties involved in a communication, making it harder for attackers to pose as a legitimate party. But what if an attacker tries to pose as a certificate authority? That's where HTTP public key pinning comes in. This method involves websites specifying which certificate authorities are allowed to issue certificates for them. If a certificate is presented that's not from one of these specified authorities, the connection is rejected. DNSSISC, or Domain Name System Security Extensions, is another preventative measure. It safeguards against MITM attacks by adding an additional layer of verification to DNS responses. This makes it harder for attackers to redirect users to malicious sites. Quantum cryptography is a more advanced method of preventing MITM attacks. It uses the principles of quantum physics to secure communications, making it virtually impossible for an attacker to intercept without detection. While these methods are effective in preventing MITM attacks, it's also important to be able to detect if an attack has occurred. This is where network traffic analysis comes in handy. By monitoring network traffic, you can identify patterns that may indicate an attack. For example, if you notice a sudden increase in data transfer, it could be a sign that an attacker is intercepting and relaying messages. Remember, the key to preventing MITM attacks lies in strong authentication and vigilance in monitoring network traffic. In this digital age, staying safe online is more important than ever. As we've journeyed through this discussion, we've explored the fascinating yet daunting world of cybersecurity, focusing on the man in the middle, or MITM attacks. These are not just theoretical concepts confined to textbooks or the realm of cryptography. They are real, tangible threats that can and have disrupted lives and systems. We've seen how a MITM attack is not just an ordinary cyber threat. It's a sophisticated technique where an attacker intercepts and possibly alters communications between two unsuspecting parties. It's like a hidden puppeteer pulling the strings, controlling the conversation without either party knowing. We've delved into real-life examples that brought the abstract concept of MITM attacks into stark reality. Remember the DigiNotar security breach in 2011, Nokia's Express browser decrypting HTTPS traffic in 2013, and Equifax withdrawing its mobile phone apps in 2017 due to MITM vulnerabilities. These instances highlight the pervasive nature of these attacks and the need for robust security measures. But it's not all doom and gloom. We've also explored ways to detect and prevent MITM attacks. The use of authentication and tamper detection methods, key exchange protocols, and public key infrastructures can safeguard our online communications. And let's not forget the significance of HTTPS, which offers secure communication over HTTP using public-private key exchange, making the intercepted data useless for the attacker. In conclusion, the importance of understanding and preventing MITM attacks cannot be overstated. It's a continuous, ongoing effort, much like the ever-evolving field of cybersecurity itself. As we continue to embrace the digital age, let's do so with an informed awareness of the potential risks and the tools to mitigate them. So keep these points in mind, stay informed, and secure your online communications from potential man-in-the-middle attacks.